What a glorious day, and what a wonderful way to ease my frustrations by catching some crustaceans.
Hey you!
You're watching Robbie Fishing. G'day folks, today I'm going yabbying. I haven't been up to this dam yet this year. Over the last few years, the numbers of yabbies in this dam have gotten less and less, and the size has gotten more and more. So we've replaced quantity with quality. Now I'm going to see if I can catch a feed of yabbies. Rightio, I filmed that introduction probably half an hour ago. I've just been piss farting around at the car for ages. I had to replace the cord on one of my nets. I had to fill some bait stockings up with dry dog food. But these are the nets. This is what I've got. I've got 3 open top lift nets. That is a bait stocking filled with Cole's home brand dog food and a little bit of Goodos. I much prefer Goodos, but I was just rummaging through the back of the car. I tend to collect all these plastic bags with dog food. I take it out, I don't use it all, then I start a new bag next time. So that's probably been rolling around the back of my car for 12 months. That's a stocking half filled with Cole's dry dog food and Goodos. This is the Josh Warby bait holder, the bait holder that Josh Warby sent in to me. That's filled with Goodos. And it's got a couple of sinkers in there to help keep it down, and so is that bait sock. This is a black stocking because I ran out of stockings. Luckily I had another pack. It's about 50-50 Goodos and Cole's dry dog food. Righto, net number 1. Go. Deep enough? Plenty deep enough. In my introduction I mentioned that this used to be a good bait yabby dam with lots of little yabbies. And the last year there's been not as many, but they've been bigger. That's sort of the cycle for most dams with yabbies in them, or even fisheries, particularly trout fisheries. Usually you either get quality or you get quantity. You'll notice in a lot of my latest trout fishing videos and my fly fishing videos, I'm catching a lot of trout, but they're all little. That's because there's a lot of mouths to feed in those waterways. And some of my earlier trout fishing videos, I've caught not very many, but I've caught bigger fish, and that's because there's less mouths to feed, so the mouths that are there can grow bigger. And I reckon it's a bit the same with yabbies. When a small dam like this is just full of yabbies, little yabbies, they've got to share the food around. Once you start taking a heap of those little yabbies out to use for fishing bait, there's less yabbies, so there's more food for them and they grow bigger. So you go through a stage where there's heaps of little ones. Then you go through a stage where there's not as many little ones and there's quite a lot of medium-sized ones. And then you go through a stage where you start getting bigger yabbies. Now last year I kept the feed of yabbies out of this dam. It was the first one ever because it's always been full of small yabbies. Now I'm hoping that there's some bigger yabbies in here. Right, now net number 3 can just go out there. That's how you twist your line when you throw them in like that. But anyway, it's in. It is 20 past 11. I'll leave them in for about 40 minutes, I reckon. At 11:18, I'll check them at 12 o'clock. Now just in anticipation, because this dam's always got yabbies in it, I'm going to put some grass in the water so that they can separate themselves from each other and not kill each other and climb up and get air. Rightio, time to check them. Now I said I'd check them at 12 o'clock. It's currently 11:32. I didn't quite make it all the way. Righto, what have we got here? And look, I've already caught 2. There you go. I've already caught 2 in the impatient check. They're not 2 monsters, but they'll do. Check them for eggs. Now, if I get bigger, I'll throw these back. I'll upsize and throw these smaller ones back. That's about the size of the biggest ones that were coming out of this dam last year. So I put them in the bucket for now. And as I said, if I get bigger, I'll put them ones back. I'd like to keep a dozen or so nice big yabbies for a feed. But a dozen bigger than that. There you go, folks. The impatient check paid dividends. That's a bit ugly, but it'll work. 2 in the first pull on an impatient check. Can't complain about that. Tell you what, if I don't get bitten by a bee today, it'll be a miracle. Right. The impatient check yielded none on the second net. I've got to tell you, I wouldn't have That's right. I wouldn't have dreamt of using these nets in this dam a couple of years ago because it was just teeming with little small bait yabbies. And they would have all gone through the net, through the holes in the mesh. Well, net number 3 is, that's got 2 similar size. Actually, they're not too bad. They're not monsters, but they're not too bad. And there's 4 in the first round of the nets. Cannot complain about that. Oops, got a bit of a tangle happening here. Rightio folks, so that's the first check done and dusted. I caught 4 nice yabbies. They weren't monsters, but they're nice enough for a feed. You may remember in that last dam that I went yabbying in recently, I only caught 5 yabbies. The first one was quite small and I threw it back. That one that I threw back was probably bigger than these ones that I've kept here now, because I know there's bigger yabbies in that dam. Bigger yabbies, but I only caught 5 for the whole afternoon. I've just caught 4 in the first impatient check, which tells me there's going to be a lot more yabbies in that dam, so maybe I'm not going to catch as many really big ones like I caught in that dam. And if you go back to a video I made about a month ago where I left my nets in for 4 or 5 days, I caught, I think it was 6 yabbies. 4 or 5 of them were really little, and there was one absolute behemoth of a yabby, which I reckon may have been, there would have been a lot of bigger yabbies in there. I caught a lot of bigger yabbies in there in the last few years, and now that the numbers have dropped off and I'm not catching many yabbies, there's some small ones starting to come through. And I reckon this is at that stage where they're just getting bigger and bigger once the numbers die down, because people like me eat them. We should start to get some small ones, and that's why it's very, very important that we put the yabbies with eggs, I mean. If we catch a yabby with eggs, it's very, very important that we put it back, because they'll replace these bigger ones that I'm taking out for a feed. Okay, it's time to check them. Hasn't been a huge amount of time. It's been about 25 minutes, which is a lot more, about 10 minutes longer than last time. I'm a very impatient person. Me and Loretta had an argument the other day, and she said, I'm growing impatient. And I said, impatient? What sort of a plant's that? What have we got? None. That's disappointing. Look at that, I caught 4 in the first sort of 10 or 15 minutes. I thought this time I'll give them 25 minutes. And I caught none. Alright, what about this net? Oh, there was one on the outside, bugger. I've got, oh, look at these big ones. Oh, they're good. Now I'm upsizing. Yeah, baby. Now I'm upsizing. Look. That's a good yabby. A good yabby. A good yabby. Come on. Come on. Oh, he'll do. He'll do too. And he'll certainly do. Look at that. Good yabbies. Not monsters, but good ones. And I know there's at least one more in there because he was on the side of the net. As I pulled the net out, he was like the Russian composer, Fukovsky, off the side of the net into the water. Alright, net number 3. Come on! Can you deliver? Can you hear something flicking around? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Right, now. Nice big eater. Another nice big eater, and a medium eater. Look, there's another 2 in there. Look, I'm confident I've kept 2 or 3 that size, but I'm confident that I won't need 2 now because I've got a few bigger ones. Here's a nicer one, he'll do. I've lost count. I think I've kept 7 or 8 already. I'm starting to throw back the smaller ones now because I'm getting some bigger ones. That was a terrible throw because it was under my foot, but it'll do. Currently 12:08. I might leave these in for a while and go for a bit of a bushwalk to kill some time and get some exercise. I have to go for a bushwalk. I need to lose some weight. I've got to burn off the McDonald's that I had for tea last night. Or should I say I've got to burn off the half McDonald's I had for tea last night. I'm sure that I ordered a large fries. They must have misheard me and thought that I said, oh hi, can I please have a small fries in a large box? What a rip-off. Thieving bastards. Oh yeah, it's time to check them. You wouldn't read about it. I completely forgot to bring my Olight headlamp, my Olight Perrin 2. Shouldn't be a problem though, I mean, it's the middle of the day and I won't need it. Right, what have we got? This one caught nothing. Oh, it's got one. It caught nothing last time and one this time. And yet it caught two the first pull. Caught two in the first 10 minutes and then one in the next hour and a half. That'll do. This is the net that had a nice one sitting on the outside last time. Can you believe it? It's caught nothing. Got to give them longer and they catch less. There was that was sitting on a snag, I think, though, when I pulled that up. That might not help. I'll just move it over a little bit and to see if that helps. Righto, net number 3. This one had a few in it last time. What about this time? I can hear something. Oh yes, look. Thank God for that. The first two were real disappointing. Right. I don't want to get my fingers bit here. Look at this. There's 5 really nice sized yabbies in that. One. They're lovely yabbies. Five. Righto, having a blast. Isn't it funny? 1, none, 5. Did you see that for a throw? I had my foot on the string at that was a backward somersault throw. That one takes a bit of skill to do that. Put it out a bit further. I don't know why. Having a blast. I reckon I've got probably 12 or 15 really nice yabbies in this bucket. Rightio, it's the last time to check the nets. I was laying in the car, honestly, there's a lovely southerly breeze blowing through with the windows down and I was almost falling asleep. Anyway, I just had a nice drink of water out of my Camelback drink bottle and it made me think. There's 2 reasons why you should never drink toilet water. Number 1 and number 2. Right. Now I'm leaving these out this time, I'm going home. Have I caught any in the last go? This net started good, but it's turned to crap. Nothing. Right, this is the net that had nothing last time. I moved it over to the right about a metre or so because it was on a snag. It's not on a snag. This, oh, the big one on the outside. No! It's not on a snag. This, oh, the big one on the outside. Did you see that real big one on the outside? That's the same bloody Russian composer that was on there before. It was Fukovsky, and he Fukovski'd back into the water again. Oh well, I've got one. And I'll kid you not, it's half the size of the one that got off, got away. He was a ripper. This bait holder that Josh Warby sent in is an absolute ripper. I may as well leave these in there. I do put a couple of the larger Signature Series bait weights in there that Matt Thurling sent me, and I also put them in my stockings as well, because the last thing you want, if you look at that, they're not real deep. If they sit like that, it's okay, but if that floats up to there, well, they can just walk straight in and out. So it's important that the bait doesn't float when you're using these open top lift nets. Okay, it's the final net. This has been the most successful net today, and it's got some in it, I think. Has it got one? That's a big one. It's a good yabby. Yeah, he's a ripper. Trying to grab his tail without him grabbing me. Oh well, we'll get another look in a minute because I'm gonna tip the yabbies out, have a bit of a stock take and see what I'm left with. See that? There's me bait weight. I can't remember whether I put 1 or 2 in there. I empty all this out here for the there's the other one. There was 2. Won't get out there and the yabbies and everything will get onto that. And I always take my rubbish home with me. You'll see there's the one from the other net just sitting there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put all these in this bait holder where I get into a habit and into a system of leaving them in there. So that each time I go yabbying, they're always there. Alright, it's time for a bit of a stock take. Take out some grouse. Tony Bennett, as Tony Gregg would call it, grouse. There we go, folks. Have a look at that for a feed of yabbies. You ripper. I'll put them in the water there for a tick, so I'm going to go and grab my mobile phone and get a picky of them. And I'll put some water in here. I'll count them back into the bucket. Put a bit more water than that. I'll count them back into the bucket. And into the water because some might go back. 1. You can put him back as a bit small. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And the last one, 18, doesn't want to let go of the net. $18 yabbies, that size I've kept, and I've thrown a few back, probably half a dozen or so. That's about the average. I've caught, there's some in there that are quite a bit bigger than that. There's a couple that might be a little bit smaller, but I've caught 18 around that size. Absolutely awesome. I am stoked. I've had a lot of trouble with the yabbies this year. I've just found it hard. Some of my dams dried up last year and they're no good. Some had a massive flush of fresh water about 2 years ago and I haven't seen a yabby in them since. So I'm down on yabby dams. But Old Faithful, I've been here plenty of times before and it continues to produce. Thanks very much for watching. If you've liked this video, I want to give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button and hopefully I'll see you in my next video.